Oh, apparently I'm live already. Sorry about that. I didn't realize that we were on. I had to make a couple adjustments to the camera. Welcome to Fabric Time, our bi-weekly show here at Four Pines Quilting to talk about fabric, I guess, is what it started out as. We're selling stuff. But today we're going to actually talk about sewing machines. We're going to talk about the new Stellaire XE1. It's going to be very similar to the XJ1. This is kind of my first impressions because I wanted to check out the new imaging system that's on that versus the Dream Machine, which it replaced. And we're going to get into that. But I figured before we get into that, we would just go over shop news type stuff. So, handy dandy listed quotes. Oh wait, we can like go. Wow, look at that close up. Woo, and it has face tracking, so it like watches my face on the screen. Anyway, so we've got some classes coming up. Shortcuts tomorrow for everybody signed up for that. Just a reminder that we're doing that tomorrow. I'll get this. So we got shortcuts tomorrow. That starts at 10. And then next Thursday, block 1 for Terra, block of the month, will be available. If you haven't signed up for that yet, feel free to do so. We have plenty of kits available. And what was I going to say? Yeah, plenty of kits available. You don't have to come and sew, but we have set time aside every month that if you want to come and work on your block, that will be available. The other thing we have is next Saturday, a week from tomorrow, we're going to be doing the notebook covers. That class is filling up quick. We might have a couple slots left. If we don't, I have to check. I didn't think to check before we started here. If we don't, we'll be adding a couple more classes to we're going to add another class to the calendar at some point because there's a lot of interest in that class. And then the other big one we've got coming up, we're going to do our first evening class. We haven't done evening classes since the Baxter left, since my mom moved out to Idaho. Wednesdays, starting 2 weeks, a week from next Wednesday, we'll be staying open till 8 on Wednesdays. With that, we're also going to start a class on the 23rd, 6 to 8. We're going to do a T-shirt quilt. The T-shirt quilt is going to be kind of a nice setup because we have it priced. So if you haven't quilted before, it's a great kit. And even if you have quilted, what you're going to get is this T-shirt making kit from R&K, who are the people that bring us Floriani. So this kit's going to come with it'll have the stabilizer that makes life awesome for quilting. Let's go back so you can show this. You're going to get the stabilizer, which you would use to the back of your T-shirts for stabilizing, which is part of the project. You're going to get a cutter, fancy cutter. I'm not sure how I feel about this cutter. I mean, it cuts, it does what it's supposed to, but I'm still partial to my ergo cutter. It's also going to have the square ruler for squaring it up, and it's also going to have the mat. This is all going to be included with our T-shirt class. You're going to get everything in this box. And the other thing, because if you go on our website, you look at it, you're going to see, oh my gosh, $300 for a class. Well, not only do you get all that stuff, the only thing you have to bring to class is 12 T-shirts. Everything else will be provided. We're going to provide the sashing fabric, and then there's going to be 2 weeks of sewing. We're going to skip a week, and then when you come back, you're buying, because also included in the class is going to be the quilting for the shirt, for the machine quilting for the quilt. We're actually going to take care of that as well. So that class pretty much includes everything you need to do, everything you need to make a T-shirt quilt, and it's only going to be $300. And like I said, that's going to include quilting and everything, and it even has all the tools that I just showed to you. The other thing is also coming up. There's a couple other things on the calendar. I'm not going to go through them all and bore you to death. The other big item that is on there that you want to sign up for sooner than later is the Kimberbell. We currently have 2 sessions scheduled for that. They're limited to 6 people. 6. Gang signs. 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Anyway, 6 people. So we have 2 sessions. That means there's going to be a total of 12 people. 12 seats available to do the Kimberbell 'Tis the Season, to sparkle. If those fill up, we will do another one. What's nice about it is also new with the classroom. We're just starting now. I guess we have sewing machines here in the classroom. So That is an embroidery class for the Kimberbell. We will have an embroidery machine available for everybody that comes. Like I said, it's limited to 6 people per session, but if you sign up for that, you can bring your own machine. You're more than welcome, but we will have machines available for people to use, so you don't have to schlep your stuff in and out. So those are the, and then Tucker University, which should be another good one. I want to say it was a pineapple block or something. That's coming up as well. So that's everything happening at the shop. Oh, I also just wanted to show the new arrivals. Santoro, I don't know if any of you are familiar with designer Santoro. I love this stuff because it reminds me of what Tim Burton would design if he was a fabric designer. Apparently he's big in Europe, but that came in today actually. And then the other, a couple days ago, we also got in this Caribou Lake thing where we discovered that where if you watch our box openings, you saw this come out. So this panel came in, and then you've also got the coordinate that goes with that. There's a bunch of coordinates. I'm just giving you the highlights of the collections. If you go on our website, you can find these under the shopping tab, fabric. It's all $9.95 a yard, $5 shipping, $100 or more shipped for free. This is also part of the Santoro stuff. And then Dandelion. This was another one, kind of a kid quilt. So that's the new fabric that came in since the last time we did this. We also are starting to fill out our fossil fern collection from BetterTex. I believe now we have every color that they make for fossil fern. So if you go to our website under Basics and Blenders, you'll see fossil fern. We have every color that they make. So if you're looking for a specific color, we've got it. You can stop in the shop and check it out, or just order online. But we have a lot of basics like that. Like you look behind me here, we have Toscana. We might be out of a couple colors that are on order. Same with the ones on the bottom, Colorworks. But we have a lot of we have some lines that blenders and basics. We tend to buy those entire lines. So, like I said, some of them I think $8.95 a yard on a lot of our basics and blenders. Some of them $9.95 depending on the price point. But we try to keep it competitive. Again, check it out on our website, fourpinesquilting.com. And feel free, if you're watching this, to chime in because I am watching the stream here. So if you have any questions or anything, feel free to jump in. So that's all the shop news. Oh, my T-shirt just shipped. I got a new T-shirt coming in. It's fantastic. Hopefully I'll have it for next. I just saw that it shipped today. So hopefully you all get to see that next time we do this. I got it on sale. It was like $6.99. It's not my fun run one. That's on the list. The September 21st Area 51 fun run. But, right now we're sticking with Star Wars. So I don't know why I got pulled off on a T-shirt tangent, because I was looking at myself in the camera. I was like, ooh, look at that. And I look like a fat man in the camera. So I'll dance for y'all. Anyway, so completely unrelated. You got to dance, Jake? Oh, shout out to Eddie. He's doing our music for us because, we don't want to get hit with those copyright infringements where they shut down our feed because we're playing somebody else's music. So we got our own music, man. Something I can dance to. I can't dance. That's why I sew, and even that's questionable. All right, now that we're done, so like I said, today we are going to talk about the Stellaire. Oh, let me change the camera angle. See, I had to put the camera on a different tripod today, and you'll see why here in a second, because I'm trying to give you all like a good. There it is, right there. So we're going to talk about this machine today. It's the Stellaire. Oh, I'm in the camera. I'm in the shop. Yay, look at me. I'm famous. Stellaire, the XE1. The XE1 is actually the same as the XJ1, except the XJ1 also sews. The big difference, the big things I wanted to check out on this from a technological standpoint are more for the embroidery side. Because many of you may know that the Stellaire replaced the Dream Machine. And what they did is they took the camera off. This doesn't have a camera built in like the Dream Machine does. It doesn't have a scanner built in. Now, it's an interesting issue because if you have a Dream Machine, one of the things that is cropping up is what they call the image stitching. Not the quilt stitching, but the image stitching, because the machine makes multiple passes. This is a Dream Machine, mind you. Makes multiple passes when you have a big hoop. It then takes the images that it catches in the passes and puts them together and stitches all the images together. Now, we have noticed when you zoom in some people that are using this, we have noticed that there is a slight issue with the image stitching, that the image is off a hair. Not too big of a deal, but it does make a difference when you're trying to design and do some of your own quilting. The people that are using it have noticed it. So the upside to the Stellaire is that problem is solved with the new way that they're doing imaging, because you're actually going to use your cell phone for the imaging. You're not going to use the scan bed on the machine. You're going to use your cell phone, so you're not reliant on that narrow little camera making multiple passes and then gluing all those pictures together to give you a view of what's in the hoop. So that is one of the upsides to the way that they're now doing imaging. I'm still kind of up in the air. I can't decide if I like it or not. I'm going to walk you through how you actually scan an image, because if you've used the Dream Machine, you know you can just press a button, it scans in your hoop, then you can drop your pattern on it, and it shows up right there in the hoop. So that is a real nice feature. Now I'm going to be honest. If you're in the market for a Dream Machine, this issue, the difference in the scanner versus the cell phone, I would honestly say it's probably only going to affect maybe 20% of the people that buy one of these machines. Because I know that most of the ladies that buy this only bought it for the giant hoop and the huge arm space. You didn't buy it for the camera, you have no idea how to use it, and you never intend to use it. So what I'm going to show you is kind of irrelevant if you don't think you're ever going to get into it. It's nice to get into. But like I said, honestly, I know people buy it thinking it, but it doesn't get used as much as you would think, except for placement. And that is, it does get used because you can, like on Dream Machine, you want to make sure that the pattern, like if I want to put Darth Vader flying into this little ship right here, I could scan this in and put Darth Vader right there without too much trouble. That's really what most people are using the camera for. They're not using it a lot for design work and stuff. That all being said, like I said, the difference between the Dream Machine versus the Stellaire is only in the imaging side. The design center is still going to work the same, and everything else is pretty much the same, except that they've changed how you input images. And I think you do get better image quality with this method because you don't have that stitching issue, but it is a little bit more convoluted. I tend to lean towards the Dream Machine myself for how I use the machine, because it's a lot easier to just press the button. All that being said, let's get into this machine. So, first things first, one of the first big differences I want to show you on this machine is, I'm going to zoom right in there, is any of you that have looked at a Luminaire, forgive me because I'm awful with this tripod thing, any of you that have seen a Luminaire will be familiar with the new layout. Oh, I was messing around here. They've really toned the colors down. The Dream Machine and everything prior to that had the really bright colors. This has been kind of toned down, a much more muted, softer palette. It's really kind of nice. It kind of grows on you after a while. I do like that change. Honestly, it's cosmetic. All these buttons are the same. Now, if this was an XJ, you'd have a sewing feature there as well. But that's cosmetic. That's the functionality and the buttons are the same on this versus a Dream Machine or a Dream Creator, except you get more buttons on this because it has more functions. But it's just about a different color. It's kind of an updated color palette. So that's kind of a nice plus one on the side for the Stellaire. And like I said, so then you've got your design center. Big thing you'll notice right away, if you come into here, you've got this little app guide button that tells you how to get your app and then how to get your stuff in there. And then the other thing, I'm just going to bring you back home, is you get something very similar as well. I'm just going to grab you know what? Let's grab that fat Santa Claus. This does have some fun designs built in. Like I really like that guy. Yeah, that should fit on the hoop I'm playing with. Now, what you would get on a Dream. Now, I'm gonna have to hit set. We're not gonna dwell on some of the basic stuff. And I gotta. Yeah. Well, you can see the background on there because I already scanned one in. I'm just gonna turn that off real quick so you guys can all see what I'm talking about. That's not what I want to do. That's not the button I want. Maybe I won't turn it off because I don't feel like fighting with it right now. Oh, there we go. Yeah, that was one of the nice things they changed too. Is you used to have to go into the settings to turn off the background. Now just a button right there. Now, one of the things, I know I'm not on camera. I don't know if that irritates people or not because all you're watching is a screen while I talk and there's no subtitles. So If you're trying to watch this with no volume, then hey, I don't know what to tell you. What's interesting is if I hit this to put a background on there, well, it turns it on. Anyway, if that was turned off, it was actually telling you how to. It was actually telling you there's a little QR code to scan to put the app on your phone. Now we're going to get into this here. This is where all the magic happens on this guy. Is like I said, I'm not going to spend a lot of time with the setup and all that. I just want to show you how this is done. So you've got an app. So the app is actually this right here. I don't know if you can see it. There's two brother apps. One app is actually for the new Luminaire update, so you can actually manage your Luminaire from your phone, like it tells you when there's errors and stuff. But the other one you want is called My Snap Design. Now, when that comes up backwards. That's kind of cool. I guess it's like looking in the mirror. I don't know if it's going to come out right for you all, but anyway. So then you've got three options. You've got an embroidery option. I'll just do this here for you because I'll read it for you, so it's boring. You've got an embroidery snap to capture. You've got a design and two design center options. The snap to capture, what that will do as a functionality, it's very similar to what I always use my Dream Machine for the most part. You press the camera button, scans in your hoop, and then you have that background to see where your image, where your pattern or the project is going to line up on that background or on that hoop. That's what I would use this mostly for. And then there's the design center aspect where you can actually import directly from here a picture and it shows up on your machine. And that's kind of a nice function. Instead of having to mess around with thumb drives and downloads and all that, you can just go on here, pick a piece of clip art up, save it, load over to your machine, and turn it into a pattern. That's a whole nother discussion, but that's doable through this app. The other thing it does is it also has an image so that you can take what's in your hoop, put it on your design center, and then design stuff around it. The big thing you'll notice too is this hoop is not your standard brother hoop. What it has on it, I'll back that out a little bit. What it has on it is some registration marks. That's how your cell phone, how the app knows what the image looks like in the hoop. So I'm just going to demo this for you real quick so you can all get kind of an idea for how it works. And I'm going to show, like I said, it's an interesting concept. I think it's a great way to go because it does solve the image stitch problem that you had on the Dream Machine. However, I'm going to show you the downside to it right now, and we're going to switch this over so you can like watch me fight with the tripod. Well, I fight with the tripod because I know that's what you all tuned in for, to watch me fight with a tripod, so that I can show you how to use a Stellaire. Look, see my awesome boots? Wait, you don't see it. You can see them. Awesome boots. Sappos.com. These are the Palladium. I don't know. Palladium makes awesome boots. They used to make, they were a rubber company, and they made their name by making boots for the French Foreign Legion. So these are actually some version of the combat boot, but they're really cool. So I love them. They're comfortable, and they're practically indestructible. They're like those Chuck Taylor All-Star Converse, but like on steroids. They're that comfortable, and then they're bulletproof. Well, not quite bulletproof, but anyway. So now that I've bored you with all that, I'm going to show you. So I'm going to show you how this works now, and this is the only way I can figure out how to do it, so you can get the right angle. Because I want you to see the pain in the butt that this can kind of be. So I'm going to press that right there, the scan. Now what I have to do, and I hit OK, it tells me to hold it parallel. I now have to position this over the hoop till it catches where it wants to be, and then it tells me to hold, and then it catches it. And now it's going to send it over to the machine. Now, that was super easy because I'm working off of the floor. And then I just hit send to machine. And what you're going to find is I just hit send to machine, and then now, if I go over to my machine, it has a happy little message. It says, well, I'll tell you what it says. It says, the image was sent from the mobile phone, update, and we're going to hit OK. And then all that does, and this is the other thing that was kind of irritating to me. Not irritating, but it's kind of a, before it will show an update, it tells me that I have to, oh, No, I guess it was on the wrong camera. So before I can show it, I have to attach the frame that I was using before it will update the picture. So I went through that trouble of scanning and taking a picture. Now I have to attach the frame, and then I hit OK. And now it's going to move. And there you go. So that's how it works. You use the app to do that. Now, so like I said, there's an extra step where you've got to use your app. You got to attach the frame back up. Whereas on the Dream Machine, you just press the button, scans it in. Now, that scan looked really, really easy because I had it on the floor and I'm standing right over it. It's a whole other story when you have it on the table and you're trying to get your phone just right. It's going to take some practice. I imagine once you get used to it, it'll be easy to do. But the first time I was doing it, there's these little marker things that you're trying to hold it steady. It was kind of a pain. Like I said, I got better with it as I played with it. But when you first start using it, it is a little wonky. So all in all, I like the concept. I'm still on the fence about it because, like I said, it's all those extra steps. Turning on the phone, scanning it in, blowing it over to the machine, putting the hoop on. Whereas on the Dream Machine, I press the button, scans it in, and I'm good to go. Now, the good news is for you, if all these things I'm telling you are like, well, do I get a Dream Machine or do I get a Stellaire? Or Stellaire, I don't really put the accent on anyway. It's not going to be a problem anymore because they're not making the Dream Machine. They discontinued production on it, so there are some out there. I do still have two in the shop in the box. So if you wanted a Dream Machine, I have some available, and they're coming on trade now and again. So you're going to be stuck with the Stellaire anyway. But, and like I said, the image quality is fantastic. It does get around that issue that we were having with image stitching. But the Dream Machine, for what most people are using it for, is basically placement stitch, and you're close enough for pretty accurate. Especially on smaller hoops, it was always spot on. So when you got to the bigger hoops, that the image stitch was an issue. That's how I would say 90% of the people are using their imaging is for pattern placement. And it's a whole lot easier on a Dream Machine to press the button and let it scan in. This does work, and I'm sure once you get used to it, it'll be fairly quick. But it's an interesting direction to go. Now, the Luminaire still has the camera, the old school camera, and I think that's going to stay. I'd be interested to have them actually add the app to it as well, so you could choose one or the other. But I don't know if it's going to get to that point. But that's what I wanted to cover today. My first impressions of the Stellaire. And so, like I said, it's great. I like it. I do like the fact that it has the updated color palette for your interface. The concept is great. The image quality is good. A little bit of practice, I think it's going to be fantastic. I do think, though, from a simplicity standpoint, the Dream Machine was a better machine as far as placement goes because it was one button, your hoop's already attached, and you're good to go. That being said, there is a speed issue with how fast it scanned. I suppose if you got good at this would be quicker. But again, like I said, it was it's more of a convenience thing because the other thing, too, is how often are you going to use that? If you're only using that camera once or twice a month, it's going to be kind of a pain. You're not going to remember it as well as push the camera button on your Dream Machine. So, if you're watching this and you have any comments or questions, please let me know now because I'm getting ready to call this stream over because we're getting up to our 25, 26-minute mark, and we all know what happens because Nikon didn't want to import video cameras. They only want to import still cameras, so it's going to click off at a half hour, so it's not a video camera. Weird, right? There's a whole tax. It's got nothing to do with technology. It's got a timer, so you can't record more than a half hour live on it, which I guess is why I should just stick to, I don't know. Who knows? The world's crazy. But if you have any questions, feel free to give us a call here at Four Pines Quilting. We're also we're on the internet, www.fourpinesquilting.com, and feel free to message me on Facebook. You can just look us up, Four Pines Quilting. Like, subscribe to the YouTube channel. We're trying to do more of this YouTube stuff. So the more people that subscribe, and the better we get at it, that'd be awesome because that feels like I'm amounting to something. I mean, I know there's only 5 of you watching tonight, which thanks. And share with your friends and all that. So thanks for watching. We'll be back here in another 2 weeks. And I'll have a great story in another 2 weeks. Because what does everybody always say? I'm going to just leave you with this teaser. When they find out the price of one of these machines, they're like, that's more than my car costs. Give me a couple weeks. I'm going to have a story for you. Anyway, all that being said, thanks for watching. And like I said, like, subscribe, follow us. Come visit us at the store. Visit us online. Buy some stuff so that you see people buy plenty of stuff because I don't miss any meals. But buy some stuff so we can keep doing this. Thanks for watching. Oh, you gonna take us out, Eddie? And that's Eddie over there. Oh, come on. That's our music. See, that's why we don't get copyright bans, because we got our own music man right there. Yes, I want to end my screen.